Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Focusing on the economic file here in Egypt, we're joined in the studio by Dr. Wael Turk, a member of the Industrial Investors Syndicate at the Suez Canal. Dr. Turk, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Dr. Turk, first of all, before talking about how we're going to lower the prices by the end of November, can you please, in very simple terms, not complicated economic or financial terms, explain why are we witnessing the sudden hike in prices of basic commodities and everything else, really?
We have a major problem that we are not producing. We are Egyptian. As you see that our exports has decreased in the last couple of months, and our imports has increased. And if you look in the statistics of what you imported, there's a lot of things which we can either not import it or increase the taxes on it too much, so to decrease the pressure on the dollar. In Egypt now, I see only one person who is working. I think President Sisi has succeeded to put in the view of all the people. We have done a couple of conferences. We see how the people are eager to invest in Egypt. The problem that only one person is working and the government is in another direction. We must work together. Now we are waiting for the parliament to finish. This is a very important point for a lot of countries to come and invest in Egypt. So we'll finalize this in a couple of weeks. But also we all have to work on destroying all the laws. I don't think that we are Egyptian, 90 million people cannot bring all the laws in Dubai, in Singapore, in Notre Dame, in Panama, and in Brazil, who have succeeded in very short, and bring these laws in front of us and do our own law, but not outside of these laws. Because the problem that we have a law and we have a law against it. We have a lot of issues and I think this is the very important issue. So I encourage everyone to go and vote for the parliament. Because I think the parliament which is coming is a very important point, and I think we have to do nothing, only to work on the laws, to bring the people to work on ground. We have seen a lot of people are eager to come to Egypt to work, to invest in the mega projects and the medium projects. But the problem that we have, when they see the law, they run away. The laws now, you cannot transfer your profits. You cannot transfer your money. You cannot. So how the people going to come and invest and they cannot take their profits? So we have to work hard to finish the laws, which can let the people all over the world who is eager to come in Egypt and work and invest in Egypt. This is a very important point. It has to do a lot of homeworks from the government, from the experts to finalize this. This is, I think, a very important point. Also, the parliament is a very important point. And we have to make it much easier for the Egyptian companies to lend money from outside of Egypt. Because the lending of money outside of Egypt is much cheaper than lending in Egypt. We're talking about 12%. The dollar is much less than this. So we have to work on the laws, and we have to work on a couple of other things. We have to start all the mega projects which the presidency said about it, and we have also to work, number two, to work on the feed industry, and the medium industry and the small industry. Also, we have to work on stopping, increasing the taxes. I don't want to say not to import, increasing the taxes 300%, 200% on all the products, which is not major products. We import almost 30% of our importing from outside for stuff like foods for the cats, jewelry. All of it is not something to
not
produce,
basic, yeah.
Not basic products. So we have to put a very high taxes on these products. I don't want to say not to import it, but I want to put a very high taxes on these products and to concentrate on the main products which we can import and help the people and people to start their business. There is a lot of people eager. We heard tons of people who have the money and ready to invest in Egypt, but waiting for our laws and waiting for the balance.
Well, Dr. Turk, a lot of people are also saying that this is really paying the price for not for lifting the subsidies off of the energy products and the petroleum and the gas products as well. Are we paying the price for that? If we didn't lift the subsidies over petrol and gas, would have the hike been a lot easier?
Whenever you see subsidy, you see corruption. We have to lift all the subsidy on every product. And the people who need help, we help them. They need who need the subsidy, we give them the subsidy directly, by the way, which we are starting in it right now. Now there is tons of people who is benefiting from this subsidy, and they're not supposed to be to benefit from this subsidy. And actually they are taking. We have read many of statistics that 80% of the people who is taking this subsidy, they're not supposed, and only 20%. So we want to take all the 100%, give it to the people who need the subsidy. So I think lifting out the subsidy is something very important to happen in Egypt.
Yes. Well, Dr. Turk, you mentioned that one of the reasons that we are witnessing a hike in prices is that we're not really producing enough.
Yes.
And over the past months or even a few years, we've been talking about production will increase if there is a safe and secure environment, if the foreign investor and the international community will be able to look upon Egypt, seeing it as a favorable destination. And we've seen, I mean, comparing things now to a few months ago or even a year ago, the situation is relatively safer and relatively more secure. We've done efforts, we've put on the whole Sharm el-Sheikh Economic Conference. We've done, the presidency has done a lot of traveling, strengthening foreign relations. So we are somehow trying to eliminate these obstacles. Do you feel that having an elected parliament will be the difference? Because we're already trying to work out the investment law, and there were a lot of problems and concerns regarding it. So do you think that having a parliament will solve everything?
Not will solve everything. Yes, will put us in the right track. But this parliament has to do a lot of homework on the laws, as we said. That these laws are destroying any investors to come. The people is coming, then we talk, we sign MOUs, the people is willing to come, and when they ask us for the law, and how they're going to transfer their money and how they are going to transfer their profits, they stopped. They said, okay, let's wait till see your parliament and what's it going to do. And this parliament, I think the first 3 months, they have to do nothing, only working on these laws. Bring the laws which make the investment very promising. And we in every direction, we have investment very promising. In tourism, in mining, in irrigation, in reclaiming the desert, in industry, in Suez Canal. We have a huge project, or mega project, which can, if Brazil has changed in 8 years, 2002 to 2010, and their president has changed in 8 years. I think we have that we can change in 3 years. If we work hard for just 3 years, you will see no poverty in Egypt. See, everybody's working. And also, since the 25th of January, we saw the people want to take and do not want to give. So I think what you said, that the prices, I don't want the prices to go down. I want the prices to go higher, so the people feel the problem, feel that we have to work. We must work. We must work. And of course, to work, we have to have some laws. And this is the responsibility of the parliament and the government, both of them. And by doing these laws, starting these projects, the mega projects and the feed projects and the small and medium business projects can change Egypt, and I think not more than 3 years. 3 years, you will see non-employment can go to 2%, 3%, 1% if we work hard on these laws, work with the parliament, work with the government. At least I want to say if our president is running with 200 miles an hour, we at least have to be a minimum of 100 miles an hour. We are on 0 miles an hour, and our president on 200 miles an hour. So it doesn't make sense that what's going on.
Yes. Well, Dr. Turk, you've mentioned mega projects as a really important tool to actually rise up with the Egyptian economy. A lot of people are saying, well, we need the mega projects because it is something that is will be very fruitful and beneficial for the whole government and the budget of the whole government. And a lot of people are saying, well, no, we also need to focus more on the basic fundamental infrastructure projects, and we need to focus more on the small and medium-sized businesses. Do you feel that directing our attention towards the mega projects, such as the expansion of the Suez Canal or the establishment of the administrative capital, do you feel that we are forgetting about the medium and small businesses?
No, we have to work all parallel. We cannot concentrate on one and leave the other one. We have to work on all these projects in parallel, because the mega projects needs the medium projects and need the feed projects. We have to work on all these projects in parallel, and we have to train the people. Now we have a problem. Now business people needs trained people. So we have to work on also training and increasing the value of the person who is working. So this is very important. Also, the training is very important to get them qualified for this type of businesses.
And do you think that the training should come ahead of the foreign investors coming in, or the actual national projects, or do you feel that the training should follow the establishment
We don't
afterwards?
have time. We have to work on all the directions, very serious and very serious and very quickly, if we want to get out of this.
Yes.
Nothing has to wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we're joined over the phone by Dr. Walid Gamaluddin, the economic expert. Hello, Dr. Walid.
Hello, good evening.
Dr. Walid, first of all, do you feel that the hike in prices will be tolerated enough by Egyptians and will get through this phase, and there will be a much more comfortable phase afterwards? Or do you think that this is something that we really didn't prepare for, and the government really didn't prepare for, and something that we just need to deal with?
No, I think it will be dealt with. I think any hike in prices that happens very soon after there are pressures on employers, whether it's the government or the private sector, to raise salaries. So I think this will happen very soon, and this will compensate for the rise in prices.
Well, President Sisi said that prices of the basic commodities will go down by the end of this month, right away. Do you feel that this is something feasible?
I hope it's feasible, but I think that the issue is more complicated than that. I think that there are many factors, regardless of... I think the best way to do it is not the government itself to enter the market as a trader. I think the government should encourage competition, open up markets, and that way the natural competition that will happen in the market will reduce prices. But I don't believe that the government should open its own stores and start competing with the private sector.
Yes. Well, another thing, Dr. Walid, is that the value of the Egyptian pound in front of the American dollar has really went down significantly. It's the talk of the whole country now. Obviously, it affected all sorts of industries and a lot of products as well. How long do you think this will last? Do you think that there is a chance it will go down? Do you think that once it got up, it will not go down?
I think it will last for at least 1.5 to 2 years, like we saw in the early 2000s. But it will continue it will get worse as long as we keep the restrictions on foreign currency usage in the country. So as long as people cannot make transfers outward transfers easily, as long as they cannot pay each other easily, the pound will continue going down. The only way to bring in new currency, fresh money into the country is to remove restrictions. That way people will be more secure and they will bring their money. Nowadays, nobody wants to bring their money, foreign currency, into Egypt because of these restrictions.
Yes. Dr. Wael Gamal-Eddin, member of the Egyptian Federation Industry, thank you very much for joining us. Dr. Turk, we're going to be talking later about the dollar, but for now, do you feel that it is feasible that we actually get the prices down by the end of this month? I mean, the President said that it will be due to the efforts and the work of the armed forces actually working on providing the goods at lower prices. What does that really mean? Do you feel that it is something that it will be extra work for the armed forces to provide all these goods? Is it supposed to work that way?
I think it's extra work, and I hope that we don't give any subsidy, more subsidy for any of these products. At least, maybe the only thing which the army can do, that can sell it in the market with no profit, and this is most of the people will not. Other people will not do it because we want to make some profit. So this is the only difference, which is. But I hope not to make any subsidy on these products, because that will increase the problem. When you see subsidy, you see corruption. So I hope that it's only that decreasing the profit of the products, and not giving any subsidy for these products. But to decrease the prices, I don't think it can be decreased by what we're seeing right now.
Well, if the armed forces are offering products at lower prices, what happens is that a lot of the wholesale stores and a lot of the wholesale merchants, they actually buy a lot of these goods and then they sell it at their own prices. Can we actually control that? Are investors or small businesses making the most out of the armed forces actually offering the products at lower prices?
I think if we open the competition, this is the best way to do it. Of competition, so the people find more than one store is selling the same product. This can decrease the prices, or decrease not the price, decrease the profit of the people. But we cannot force the private sector to sell on certain price. I don't think this is the right idea, because this is going to make, on the other side, going to make all the investors run away from Egypt.
Well, however, we're talking about the increase in prices and we're feeling that the economic situation is a bit tight and tough. However, the budget deficit for the year 2014-2015 actually went down to 11.5% from 12.2% that was recorded for 2013. How is that even possible? Is it because we're increasing prices? Is it because, how is it mathematically at least possible that everything's price is going up, however the budget deficit is going down, even though we're not producing as much as we would like to?
Well, the increase in deficit, I don't think this increase in deficit, just looking at it, because the deficit is looking on the whole things.
Yes.
So on the whole things, there's a lot of things has been done. There's a lot of been is increased. Yes, the regular person will not feel about it, but when you look at the economy of a company, of a country, it make the number change. So this is what's making the deficit increase, but affecting the regular person, he did not feel it at all. The regular person, the people in Egypt does not feel that, but the deficit, there is a lot of other things which is affects this. And actually in the last couple of months, we have increased a lot of electricity, a lot of all these things, a lot of the Suez Canal, a lot of things which has been, so that affects the whole the deficit of the.
Yes. Well, before we turn our attention to the dollar, now the previous government resigned for a few reasons, and one of them was the performance of the economic sector of the cabinet. And a new cabinet has been sworn in. And the president actually promised a growth of up to 5% for this year. How do you evaluate the economic performance of the current cabinet since it was sworn in up until now? And do you feel that we will be able to reach the 5% growth promised by the president?
Till now, there is maybe, till now, I don't see any difference between the old government and the new government. Maybe the old government, Engineer Mahlib was turning around every day, solving problems by himself. We don't see this right now. And of course, this government cannot do anything without the parliament because you have to change the laws. So we're waiting these 2-3 weeks till we see if this government will work with the parliament and will work on the laws so we can increase change the what's happening with right now and bring the investors. We in the syndicate with the Arab women investors has done 2 conferences, and there is over one was in Sharm el-Sheikh for 3 days after the last conference, and another one was we did it last week under General Mamish was with us, and we see the people how they are eager to come and invest, but they are waiting for the laws, waiting for the government to do all these things, and we're just waiting for them. So if they change the laws, but now what they are doing now, they are doing nothing. Maybe the old regime was much better than today because we see somebody's moving around. Now we're seeing nothing. They done nothing with the laws, and these people till now they done nothing with the laws. So we're waiting for the parliament and waiting for this government to do something about these laws.
Yes, well, hopefully having a new parliament will actually move things going. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now let's check out this report regarding the much talked about value of the Egyptian pound against the dollar, and we'll be right back.
The Egyptian pound was stable at a dollar sale on Sunday as the central bank sold $37.8 million at a cutoff price of 7.9301 pounds per dollar, but it strengthened on the parallel market. The official cutoff price was unchanged from Thursday's dollar sale, but one trader said the dollar changed hands at 8.4 pounds in the parallel market on Sunday, compared with 8.5 on Thursday. The central bank kept the pound at 7.5301 for 5 months until July, then allowed it to slide to 7.73 this month. It will let it weaken by another 0.2 pounds to 7.9301. Allowing a controlled weakening of the pound could boost exports and attract further investment, but it would also raise Egypt's already large bill for imported fuel and food staples. The Central Bank of Egypt, on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, auctioned 7.25 billion Egyptian pounds in treasury bonds Monday, according to the bank's official website. The bonds are to be offered in 3 installments, the first valued at £2 billion with an 18-month term, the second worth £3 billion with a 3-year term, and the third valued at $2.250 billion with a 7-year term. The government seeks to borrow from the domestic market to cover the state budget deficit, which exceeds 10% of GDP. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Egypt records $3 billion in net profits at the end of June. The bank said net profit grew 0.2% to 23.866 billion Egyptian pounds in the past fiscal year versus 48.88 billion pounds in the same period a year earlier. A recent data showed figures that the central bank's assets surged 25.2% to reach 729.261 billion pounds by the end of June, compared to 582.316 billion pounds by the end of June of 2014. Last year, the central bank had raised its paid-up capital £10 billion from £8 billion. Central Bank's Board of Directors may, in agreement with the Ministry of Finance, appropriate a percentage of the net annual profits to increase the capital of the bank, according to Law Number 88 of the year 2003, promulgating the law of the central bank, the banking sector and money. Egypt's central bank kept its October benchmark interest rates on hold at a monetary policy meeting last Thursday. Egypt has named senior banker Tariq Aimer to head the central bank from November 27th in a move welcomed by traders who expect a new approach that could help ease the country's currency crisis. Egypt has sought to tame a once thriving currency black market with measures such as a cap on dollar-denominated bank deposits. Central Bank gave permission in January to trade dollars up to 0.10 pounds above or below the official rate. The Currency Exchange Bureau allowed to trade at 0.15 pounds above or below the official rate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Focusing on the Egyptian pound against the dollar. Dr. Turk, the value of the Egyptian pound, according to the bank, is 7.9 Egyptian pounds. In the black market, it has reached about 8.5 pounds. Why did this happen?
Because we're not producing. We are importing almost double what we are exporting. Plus the tourism has been affected. Plus the transfer of the people of the outside, the Egyptian who's living outside has decreased. So we have to do work on all these things. We have to encourage the Egyptians now to, by different ways, who are living outside Egypt to bring dollar to Egypt, and I think they can help, and they have done this a couple of times before. In 1973, in any problem, you're going to find all the people are just helping. So I think we are in the same situation, and we'll ask all, do projects for them, sell them for lands, like they're selling lands for them in dollars, do different things to encourage the Egyptian outside Egypt to transfer their money to Egypt. This is number one. Of course, the tourism is very important. I think we have to make more advertisement for our places, and we have to come very quickly to the numbers which was before 25th of January in 2011. So we have all of us to work, and I think the minister Zazu is working, and he's doing a good job, and I think there's a couple of things he has done on the pyramids in the last week and the week before. I think we have to do this every week to bring somebody from all over the world, even if we pay them money to come, and so the people will feel that Egypt is safe. It doesn't make sense that we just say Egypt is safe. Egypt, no, we want all these pioneers in the world to come to Egypt and to be and taking photographs with the minister, with the prime minister, with the people in the streets. So by this way, we transfer to the people outside that yes, we are a safe country, especially that we have some issues in different places.
Yes.
So.
Well, Dr. Turk, weeks ago, the World Bank has said that they will give the Egyptian Central Bank $1.5 billion to actually help with the foreign currency reserves. And everyone expected, well, at least if not the value of the Egyptian pound going down against, increasing actually against the dollar, at least it would stay still, not increase. Did that not make any sort of difference?
$1.5 million is nothing for Egypt. The deficit is deficit. We're talking about 450 million Egyptian pounds, which is around 80. 450 by 8, so you're talking about $70 million. So if you look at 1.5 billion to 80 billion, this is less than 3%. So it's not, yes, it's gonna affect, but what's the percentage? Plus, you still have a deficit between your exports and your imports. You still have problems with, as we said, the lows. I'll keep saying the lows, because we are in touch with all the investors all over the world, and we brought investors in the electricity, in the wells, for Suez Canal. We brought a different, and all the people are eager to come and invest in Egypt, but we're still waiting for the lows. And also lending for the private sector from outside. We have to open this. We have to open that to make it easier for the private sector to lend money from the outside of Egypt.
Yes.
Because our central bank is putting minimum for the dollars for 6%, and we can bring it from outside for less than 1%. So that will decrease the cost on the investor, and then by decreasing the cost on the investor, it will affect the prices and will go on.
Yes. Well, you've mentioned the Suez Canal, and the expansion of the Suez Canal project was the first mega project that Egypt undertook recently, and everyone really had a lot of high hopes, and everyone assumed that the revenues of the Suez Canal would increase, especially with the expansion. However, the revenues decreased. How is that possible? So it didn't even stay as steady as it was. And you are the member of the investor syndicate at the Suez Canal, so you probably know exactly what is going on. So what is going on there? Why did the revenues go down?
Let's say what happened in Suez Canal in the last year and making the Suez Canal, or the second Suez Canal, it's the first step. It's not, this will not increase our economy or increase our income. What will increase our income is what is going to be done on the left and right of the Suez Canal. This is what's going to make you change. Instead of, you are taking from the container like $7 per container, almost. You can change this $7 by just making a very simple industry. You can change it to $300 just by bringing the products and just putting it in boxes here and putting it together. If you do industry, you can increase from $7 to $300 to $3,000 from each. Imagine that if you increase, now you're taking $7, you increase the $3,000. If you do a real, this is what's going to increase the economy in Egypt. What will happen on the left and right of the Suez Canal? And to do what's left and right, we go back again to the parliament and the laws and all these things. Doing the canal will not increase the income of the Suez Canal, but making industry, making products, that will increase our income from the Suez Canal. Yes. So the Suez Canal, or the second Suez Canal, is the first step to start the industrial zone in the 3 different places, start to be on ground. We want these companies to come on ground. How to bring, we have to all work together to bring all these investors on ground on Egypt. This is, we're going to change all numbers. And as I told you, we have the potential in Egypt to change within a couple of years, less than before the first presidential, in the first 4 years, can change Egypt. You can increase the income for the Egyptian from less than, from around I think it's around now $1,200 per year. You can easily change it to $8,000 and $10,000 per year, just within 3-4 years, if all we work together seriously to bring all these people on ground, bring this industry on ground. So you will, and you bring this mega project, big projects, you will have the feed projects, the medium and small business projects, the 4 million acres which are going to be done. This is a very important project. We're starting with 1.5, and we want to put a plan for this, because this is a very important issue. Now, since the last economic in China, we have signed protocols. Now, we have been promised that within 60 days we're going to take this land. Now it's almost a year, or let's say 9 months, 10 months, and nothing happened. And every day they change their mind. Oh, today we're going to give it to you with wells. We're going to do the infrastructure. No, you're going to take the land and do the infrastructure. There's no clear idea how it's going to work. So we have to put a plan, agree on it, and work on it, and let's start work. We're just talking. We're talking, bringing the people to them, oh, we have a very good, nice places to invest. We have a very good projects, and we are not giving them the facilities to bring this on ground.
Yes. Well, speaking about major projects, recently there has been news about actually starting a lot of phosphate factories taking place in Al Ain al-Sukhna area. Also talking about the agreement with the Italian company Eni for the exploration and extraction of natural gas from the Mediterranean that will start by 2020. Do you feel that these projects, do you feel that they will have the same fate as the ones that were talked about during the economic conference? Do you think that these projects are maybe a little bit different and we will actually see these projects being implemented right away?
They are working on implementing these projects right now. The gas which has been found, it's a huge project because you are transferring all these gas all over to the almost 200 kilometers or 180 kilometers to this is a lot of work. This gonna not be happen in one day. You go the step by step, as we said, like Suez Canal. This is the first step. There's a lot of other steps has to be done. The same thing with these projects. There's a lot of other things has to, and this also needs investment and needs a lot of money to be done to come to truth and the people feel it and see it.
Yes. Well, talking about industries as well, following a 10-day strike by thousands of workers at the largest textile factory, the Mahalla for spinning and weaving, do you feel, well, they ended the strike. Do you feel that actually the factory met the workers' demands of actually increasing their payment on annual social bonus? Do you feel that this is a phenomenon that we could actually witness in other factories around the country?
Well, I don't think the point is most of these factories are not losing money. So I don't know. You seeing your factory. Let's consider that this is my factory. I'm seeing my factory losing my money, and then the employees come and tell me I need more money in the time being. Okay, work. Think about new idea. Get out of the box. Do something. Think about how to make your factory make money. And there's tons of people who have very good mind and very expert, and they can do something. So let's ask these people, get out of the box, make profits, and take what you want. But now these factories are not making money, and we're making strikes, and this is nonsense. What's happening from the employees, and you see that your factory is losing money every year, and you're still asking for more. So you're taking your factory to the hell. You're destroying your factory. So these people has to be more loyal to their factories and think how to get out of the box and make these factories make money. When the factory makes money and make profits, now we can sit and talk. I need more, I can increase my salary, I want this, I want this. But now I don't know the numbers, I don't have the statistics, but I'm sure that over 70% of these factories are losing money, and still the employees are asking for more. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Because it's government. If it's private sector, I'm gonna close it. Why should I keep? Because this is the subsidy which increase the corruption, increase all these things. So they don't have even their salaries, and the government is subsidizing them every month with the salaries, and the people are asking more, and they're not thinking out of the box how to solve their problems. They have to solve their problems. Every factory have set the CEO with the employees how to get out of the neck of the bottom. Even if we open market, everyone open market for himself, whatever, you have to think out of the box. Every factory is different. Every situation is different. But we cannot keep increasing the salaries and the factories is losing money.
Yes, and would you say that these are the same reasons why our exports, the level of exports actually decreased over the past year?
Yes, yes, the people do not want to work and we're asking for more, and so they're now, okay, so they're increasing. Now everybody will feel the problem. So if we don't feel the problem and work on solving this problem, getting out of the box, solving, and something very important which I want to add is the universities. Now it comes we have tons of things in the boxes in the universities, inventions which can change Egypt. Just the inventions which are in the boxes. If we look to these inventions which are in the boxes and work on make it putting it in the market by putting the university, with the industry, with the investors, can do a huge things in Egypt.
Yes. Well, what about the strengthening of the relationships between Egypt and countries such as Germany and Italy? And the President will also soon go to the UK, talking about strengthening the economic relations and the trade balance between all of these countries. Are these strengthening activities and efforts being felt for the Egyptian economy, or are they basically government-to-government deals and transactions?
I think this is a very important thing which our president have succeeded in it. I think this is the most thing which we did succeed in. This traveling a lot and making because we see the people coming to us wants to invest. Now the government and the parliament has to do their work. The people are doing this business, this relation with the different companies is very important. And this is increasing, putting Egypt in the eyes of all the world, and Egypt is in the eyes and in the heart of all the world. Not because we are Egyptian. This is the truth. You go to every place in the world. Egypt has a piece of the heart of every person in the world. It's written in Quran, so it's not we're doing nothing. Yes. It's something out of our hand. Even I think a French writer said everybody have his country, and his second country is Egypt. This is we're not saying this. This is the writers saying this. So I think this is a very important thing which President Sidi has done, and now it's our homework to do our homework. We have to run after our president and make these people who is willing to come and invest and do business with us find that there is a road they are working on it, driving on it, so they can be safe in Egypt for their investor, for their investment. And we talked about the issues of الأمن اللي هو we talked about the if you see
safety and security.
Security things. If you go to South Sudan, there is no security, and you find all the world is there, Chinese there. So the security is not. We are the most secure country almost now in the area, and we don't have the most. See in South Sudan, the Chinese has took over 6,000 acres.
Yes.
The Americans has took over 10,000 acres to invest there and to reclaim it and to cut the trees. They are taking the trees all over the ships.
Well, Dr. Turk, because we're running out of time in 30 seconds, you've mentioned repeatedly the importance of actually having the Egyptian parliament in place to set all the laws and set the procedures that need to be followed. Do you feel that with the coming parliament, by the end of this year, we're going to have a strong parliament that will be able to pass the laws that the economic sector of the cabinet was not as successful as we would have hoped for?
I hope, and I'm asking every person in Egypt to go down and vote. This is the most important parliament coming in the past and the next. So I'm asking each person in Egypt to go down to where he's supposed to vote and vote, because it is very, very important parliament. The parliament is coming. This can change Egypt up or can destroy Egypt.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm asking every person to vote for the parliament, to choose his person, to do some homework. Yes, they did not advertise for themselves. They did not have time. We don't want to. We have to work. We have to run what the history of this person, the history of person, to vote for him, because the next parliament is the most important parliament, from my point of view, ever in Egypt before, and I think for the next 10 or 15 parliaments coming.
Yes, definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, upon this very encouraging request, we actually all need to go to the parliament and vote and choose our candidates. And on that note, we come to the end of this edition of the Daily Debate. But before we go, I'd like to thank Dr. Wael Turk, a member of the Industrial Investors Syndicate at the Suez Canal. Dr. Turk, thank you very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on Nile International. I'm Hany. Thank you for joining us.